Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your Jack of all games, master of none, Alec here with his Digimon. That's in third person, I know it. But this is my Mastemon deck profile. But I'm doing this a little bit differently. I've done quite a few Mastemon profiles now, and I think everyone gets the gist of the deck. But I'm talking about the BT14 yellow-based Mastemon list, and I want to separate the profile into kind of like what's new and what's expected. I want to first start off with the yellow vaccine kind of package you have in the deck. So when you're playing yellow base, you need to use a yellow egg. Tokomon is pretty much the best one. Let me bring this in. Tokomon is pretty much the best one. When a card is added to your security stack, draw one. It's really solid. You'll get this effect off pretty often. You can also there's also the Kiaromon isn't a bad rookie if you want to have a fifth egg. But I really like Tokomon. It's pretty consistent. The star of the show is our brand new BT14 Patamon. It's the start of your main phase. So, you can move this out of your breeding area and get its effect, or if it sits on the field for a turn, you can get its effect. You search your security stack. This Digimon may digivolve into a yellow Digimon card with the vaccine trait among them without paying the cost. So that's a free level 4 Digivolution into a level 4. Then you shuffle your security stack. If it's digivolved by this effect, you may place one yellow card with the vaccine trait from your hand to the bottom of your security stack. So this guy does not recover once it takes something out of your security unless you have a vaccine in hand. So that's why now you have to run quite a few different vaccines, so you do have something to put into your security. And when you do put things in your security, you trigger so many effects, like it's inheritable. When a card is added to your security stack, gain 1 memory. Tokomon and Patamon are a pair like that. You will be drawing and gaining memory a lot during the course of a game, and if you've played Mastemon, you know you definitely could do with a little bit of memory every single turn. Patamon is kind of the new linchpin of the deck. It is now Gatomon's best friend. In the yellow vaccine list, typically you want to digivolve into the new Angemon with Patamon. But in Mastemon, you really want to digivolve into your Gatomon, because Gatomon is where a lot of our advantage comes from. It's where a lot of our shenanigans come from, being able to digivolve into a level 1. But we'll get more into that when I talk about the Mastemon package later. But traditionally, before I get to that, and the last rookie is Kudamon. So Kudamon's kind of a flex rookie in this deck, but it's a really good yellow vaccine target for the deck. On play, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 yellow vaccine and 1 yellow tamer. So it can potentially pick up 2 cards, both a yellow vaccine and a Mori Makaga or a TK. Kudamon can pretty much grab half the deck. I mean, it's a Mastemon deck, you have to run purple. But it's really, really good. But you can do without it. If you want to run Pillowmon in your list, that's another very, very good yellow vaccine. It stops your opponent from playing Digimon with card effects, but it also stops you. So I don't run it in a general build at a normal locals, but in tournament I would, since I'm very much afraid of other people getting those effects off. And then Angemon, this is the new secret rare in BT14. It's really good, but it's not perfect. That's why I'm only running it at 2 and I'm not maxing it out, not like a yellow vaccine list. So when attacking, you delete this. So its attack will never go through when you're using this effect. You can either place one of your opponent's Digimon with the virus trait at the bottom of the security stack. It doesn't matter what level it is or how much DP it has. If it's a virus, Angemon can just bottom security it. Or, if they don't have a virus, you can drop minus 5,000 DP on them, so you can clear out some champions, any rookie, or you can weaken out someone's larger Digimon so something else can swing on it. All in all, this is a very good card. Its on deletion effect actually lets you place it at the bottom of your security, and then if you have a tamer, you can hatch into your breeding area. So it's all about that kind of reincarnation deal. Patamon and Angemon, they pair really, really well together. I mean, it's by design. The only reason it's not perfect in a Mastemon deck is Angemon it doesn't move your strategy forward. It doesn't actually help you make Mastemons. It just doesn't really help the deck reach what it's trying to do, but he's a very good tool to remove bodies off the board. And the fact that he can place himself into security and you can do it all over again with more Patamons makes it really, really good. Speaking of great tools, this is our last Digimon in the Yellow Vaccine package. It's Geogreymon. He's a mandatory at 1, only because he's at 1. If we could play more of it, we would. But you search a security stack and you add a red or yellow tamer, and then you recover. That's Morai Makagura all day. She costs 5 to play. Geogreymon plays it for free. If we could play more of it, we would. This is a yellow vaccine. It's a great target for this deck. And then 2 copies of the option Emissary of Hope. This card can be run at all kinds of numbers. It just depends on your how comfortable you are with kind of chaos. So you search your security stack, and then one of your Digimon can digivolve into a yellow level 6 or lower Digimon with the vaccine trait without paying its cost. Then you shuffle your security, and if you digivolved and you have a TK, you recover. So there's a lot of parts to Emissary of Hope. You get to look at your security. That's really good. It's always good to know what's in there. And then you can digivolve into any level 6 or lower vaccine for free. There's plenty of large vaccines that we run in this deck, like Ophanimon, even Mastemon, that this guy lets you digivolve into those essentially for a cost of 1. It can be awkward though, because if you don't have TK, you don't get to recover and replace that security. I mean, I do play TK, and I really would hope you're playing TKs in a Mastemon list, either the new one or the old one. I think they're both pretty good. And then its security effect. If they trigger some security, you play a Patamon from hand or trash without paying its cost. You will have a Patamon in your hand or trash, unless it's your very first security. And then you add this card to your hand. So I love cards like this that just get so much value. It's just, if you haven't already looked at your security when you activate this card, you're taking a risk, and that risk doesn't always pay off. But the yellow vaccine package really helps speed up Mastemon shenanigans. These guys, they search for the cards they need. They can digivolve for free. They can recur themselves into your security and back onto the field. It's a really, really strong package, and it is the #1 way to play Mastemon right now. But I do think it makes the deck a bit more complicated, and if you've played Mastemon, you know it is not the easiest deck to pilot. But now we'll talk about Mastemon, the Mastemon package, what we have here. So Candlemon's been in Mastemon decks before. We're dropping 4 of it. You can it's kind of a flex spot, but it has a really good inheritable where if you play a purple Digimon, you gain a memory. It can digivolve off yellow or purple, so it's useful in like either purple or yellow base. But in this case, it gets the job done. The only problem with Candlemon is it's a data and is not a vaccine, so it's not searchable with some of your effects. But otherwise, it's just a really good Digimon. It's very solid. Play 4, play 3, play 2. You can't really go wrong. Just don't play 1. Now for the old linchpin of the deck. I mean, these are kind of like a dynamic duo now. But is Gatomon at 4. I still can't imagine running it anything less. We're not slamming it down as much to get the search. Like, if you really need to, you can. But now your #1 goal with Gatomon is getting it into your security so that Patamon can just digivolve into it for free, and then you can just climb up into Mastemon for essentially like 1 memory, and that's not factoring all the memory gain you'll get. You'll be getting into that Mastemon while gaining memory. The Patamon and Gatomon together are insane, and that doesn't take away from what Gatomon already does for the deck with its end of turn end of turn DNA Digivolution. It's a great card. Yeah, yellow vaccine kind of just makes it better because it's also a yellow vaccine. I'm running 2 of the Devimons, the Rush Retaliating Devimons. It's just a really good Rush Digimon card, and sometimes you can that little retaliation effect comes in handy. The only problem with this card is it is a virus. It's a purple virus. It does not work with your yellow vaccine package. You want to run this at a minimum. 2 is fine, but like if I could drop it down to 1, I would. I still might, guys. But Devimon, really solid, just for Rush. We're into our level 5s. These, I don't think there's any surprises here. BT11 Anjuamon and BT11 Lady Devimon. These 2 cards are, they are what make Mastemon work. They search for your angels, Anjuamon in security, Lady Devimon in trash. They gain memory when you play each other, and because Morai Makagura can play them for free, you can just kind of gain memory. And they give your angels blocker and retaliation. So the whole board is ready to battle. You have to run these at some amount. I've seen a lot of people run 3 copies of each. I feel that 2 copies of each is fine, and because these aren't the only level 5s that we run. We also run the starter deck 10 Anjuamon. I'm running one copy of it. This is the one that gives security -2 on play and security attack +1. This Anjuamon I feel is very, very important in Mastemon with the yellow vaccine list. Because if you're relying on like Anjuamon and you're playing against a deck that has a lot of viruses, he's going to be bottom decking things constantly. And Mastemon doesn't apply so much pressure that you can swing through a ton of security. So that security attack really comes in handy. And it's really easy to play. It's really easy to slide into the deck as a tech. You can get it out the trash and get out the security. It's not bad. Magna Anjuamon is back in the deck. I took it out originally because I was like, oh, I don't really want to stall my opponents out. But now that we have so many effects that trigger when you add something to security, Magna Anjuamon is kind of a no-brainer right now. You can run the new Magna Anjuamon Ace. I don't think that's a wrong decision. That one's a little bit awkward. It's because you play it for 4, but it overflows for 3, so it essentially will cost the same amount as Magna Anjuamon. And if it ends up underneath my Mastemon or underneath an Alphanimon, that overflow stays, and I'm worried about my opponent taking advantage of the overflow when I'm not ready for them to do so. So right now, Magna Anjuamon, just the base one stays, but play around Magna Anjuamon Ace and let me know how much you like it in Mastemon lists, because this could very well just be that. Then we have BT3 Lady Devimon, just draw 2, trash 2. It's kind of a staple in Mastemon. It's one of the cards that really just can't move. Why? Because we're running 2 Lucemon Chaos modes. You gotta get this guy in trash as fast as you can. You want to at least get 1 in early game, and by the end of the game, you'll probably have 2. Winning without seeing this card is tough, but not undoable. Then the level 6 queen of the deck itself is Mastemon. So Mastemon's game plan has not changed. It snatches the guy from your trash, placing your security, and you play a level 5 or lower from your security to the field, and then it can delete a Digimon of the same level or lower if you play a Digimon by effect. Her effect triggers herself, but also any of your other effects that play a Digimon via effect can trigger Mastemon's effect. It's a great removal tool. It's great for controlling the board, and because of the Anjuamon and Lady Devimons from BT11, it also has a bit of a mid-range play style with everything's a blocker, everything retaliates, so you can kind of bully your opponent. The yellow vaccine package is really great because Patamon plus Gatomon lets you ratchet up into Mastemon really, really fast. You can make Mastemon as early as turn 2 in cases. It can depend on what your Emissary of Hope does. But an early game Mastemon has never been better because, one of the problems Mastemon has is it takes a while to get started. And your opponent can get a lot of cheap shots in during the time while you're trying to build your Mastemon. But Yellow Vaccine can build a Mastemon so fast, you can get a 13,000 deleting blocker retaliator on the field so fast, and the opponent can't even get chump swings anymore. Then your little Devimons and stuff are blockers too, and you can protect yourself so much easier with a fast Mastemon. You still just suffer from the main Mastemon problem of what if you only see 1 and your other 3 at the bottom of your deck. Or if you see none, that's just pain. Then the last level 6 is Alphanimon Fall Down mode. I think it's the most solid Mastemon secondary level 6. There's all kinds of level 6s you can run that you can really just tailor to what you expect to play against at your locals or at tournament. But Alphanimon Fall Down mode is just really solid. It got better with Yellow Vaccine because it is a Yellow Vaccine, just like half the other cards in this deck. So you can Digivolve into this really easily with Emissary of Hope. You can search it very easily. It's perfect. The only reason I would take these out is if I had a specific matchup I were planning against. And because we play yellow and purple in this deck, we have all sorts of level 6s we can run. And then my one level 7 is Shine Greymon Ruin mode. It's a great level 7 for Mastemon, even more so than Death Exmon, even more so than, her name is escaping me, the level 7 Jogress. Yeah, her name's leaving me. But anyway, the level 7 Jogress Mastemon's already trying to combo to make itself, and that says you need to combo even further, and that just means the cards have to fall in the perfect order. Not great. Death Exmon is really cool. You can run that just fine. I like Shine Greymon Ruin mode more. I think it just has more utility in the deck. It is a yellow vaccine, but it's level 7, so Emissary of Hope doesn't work with it. But it drops minus 5,000 on Digivolving. It drops minus 5,000 on deletion, so you can drop minus 10,000 on the entire board until the end of your opponent's turn. This Digimon just wrecks wide boards, and that's something that Mastemon truly struggles with. It's great for one-off removal, and a lot of your options are great for removing one card at a time. Shine Greymon says, I can remove plenty, and it can hinder your opponent from actually cracking back at you. Even if you leave them with memory, that minus 10,000 sticks on the field for an entire turn. Your opponent will be hard-pressed to really hit you back on the turn after you use Ruin Mode's effects. So it's a great level 7. I like it in this format. I kind of like it in all formats. And moving on to Tamers. So this is no surprise. It's Mirai Makagura and the original TK. Mirai, it just got better because you can play it for free off the GL Greymon. And then you can run new TK or you can run this TK. I just like this TK because it's a memory fixer, and in the early game, you don't want to get memory choked by opponent. Though we can make plays off low memory, but we need the perfect cards. And it lets you just see your security very early in the game if you draw this. And getting that security knowledge as soon as you can really helps your future plays, so that your Emissary of Hopes don't have to be like luck-based, your Patamons don't have to be luck-based. You can just know. And TK also helps you filter, so you can get all of your stellar options in security. Like Cast Degradation, I have it in at 3. It could be at 4, but it honestly just doesn't feel as good as it used to. Other colors and other decks have very strong removal tools too, and a lot of them cost less. I know Chaos Degradation costs 8 because it places something in security, and that's just an amazingly unique way of removing something from the board. But relatively speaking, it just doesn't feel as unique and powerful as it used to. I wish it costs less, but it doesn't, and you still kind of have to play it. I mean, it's still a great card. I hope that one day we get a new yellow-purple option that is, it just costs a little bit less. Then speaking of costing less is Flame Hell Scythe. So Flame Hell Scythe, when it first came out, was an amazing card because that 6,000 DP minus would just catch all sorts of things. Nowadays, I feel that it struggles more so than not. And playing Flame Hell Scythe without getting a kill doesn't feel as good. Yes, you're getting to play a purple or yellow Digimon, but getting the 2-for-1 is really what Flame Hell Scythe is all about. Like, for the most part, you'll use it to kill Floodgate rookies, and that's good if it comes up. But there's a lot of times where Flame Hell Scythe will not get a kill and play a Digimon, so it's still really good at 2. I just would not run it at 4 anymore. The last two options, Calling from Darkness and Reinforcing Memory Boost. These are all cards you've seen in Mastemon before, but Calling from Darkness I think is even more important than ever because Yellow Vaccine forces us to run fewer and fewer purple cards, and Mastemon requires a purple and a yellow. Well, Calling from Darkness can grab your purples. I think you kind of need this card for long games because you can end up in a Lady Devimon drought. It's very easy to happen, so I love Calling from Darkness. And Reinforcing Memory Boost, I mean, it can just trigger your Patamon and Tokamons. It's a great memory boost. I don't think we really need the yellow training option in this deck just because, I mean, our Digivolutions are going to be cheap anyway, and if they're not, we're going to lose. So I think Reinforcing Memory Boost is the best memory boost for the deck. It really gets the job done. But yeah, so that is my Mastemon deck profile. I'll put the list in the description so you can see all the exact ratios. I know I did this in a weird order, but I think it was important to establish what is Yellow Vaccine, what is Mastemon, how do they work together, and some of the downsides that come with it. But guys, let me know what you think of the deck and what you're doing with Mastemon, because everyone's Mastemon's list will be different because it's a deck that it's tailored to your playstyle and what you expect to play against. Mine's a very general list because my locals is the Wild West. But I'm sure when I take this to tournament, there will be certain considerations I'll make for the metagame. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Pillowmon. But that's all I got, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Pass turn.